When you come and live in another culture and work in another culture, you see a completely different picture. Artistically, the sensibilities are very different between the East and West, and I think that's been a huge eye-opener for me and a huge sense of discovery. I've been making ceramics now for 40 years, both small domestic scale and now on a very large scale in porcelain. And that's why I found myself in China, because I can make huge pieces in this very beautiful white clay. Like most people, in my secondary school, I had a very inspirational teacher, and then I thought, this is something that I can do as a career. And so I went to Bath Academy of Art. And then again, I had another inspirational teacher, John Colbeck, who introduced me to clay. I went into the ceramic room, a tiny room, and there were about 6 or 7 of us, and it just clicked straight away. At that time, I was quite nervous about surviving on just my ceramics. I wanted a dual career of teaching and making, and Goldsmiths seemed to be the best place to go for that, and to be thrown into the East End of London to do my teaching practice was terrifying at the time, but fantastic. And so I've always taught. In those days, after your undergraduate degree, it wasn't automatic that you went on to do an MA. And it was a little bit later, when I was 38, that I thought I want to gain a bit more confidence in my own work. I was always serious about it, but much more seriously, that it could be my career. So I looked then at going to the Royal College to do a master's degree, and in fact I ended up doing a research degree, and that was fantastic. And I began to work on a larger scale. I began to think very differently from just the pot and the vessel. I began to look at what clay could communicate to you emotionally. And so the pieces were very much about touching and sensuality. The forms were very fecund, if you like. And then I had the opportunity to do a residency in China. And it was there that I suddenly discovered, wow, here is a place where I can change the scale, especially Jindagen, where the porcelain is so fantastic and allows quite a bit of freedom with what you do. I saw the workshops making big pots and huge tiles, and the vocabulary of pattern and form was something very different from the UK, and it was a fantastic stimulus and something that was very fresh and new to me, and I felt I could recharge my batteries and learn something new from both the historical background, the cultural background, as well as the technical side. And so we moved here and set up a studio in 2012. So we have a studio that we could only dream of in England, and because Jindagen is a city that it's a curious city, because it's just full of people working with ceramics. So it was a sort of potter's paradise, if you like. I think working in another culture, you become aware of the history of the place, the politics, the history, the way people live and operate. And also, working in another place, it gives you an extraordinary freedom, mental freedom. And I think that's something which I treasure. As soon as I get on the plane and I'm here, I forget about all the anxieties that I've had in the UK and my teaching and my life, and I can just focus on my work, and it's a wonderful freedom. There's no expectation. I can just do my work. And I think that's very special, and I think I'm very privileged to be able to do that.